Okay, check out this video from Channel 4. This is what happened last night. You tell me what you see. You tell me what you see. Are you seeing this? Straight up and down. The finger of God weapon. Athena laser weapon system, Lockheed Martin to deliver world record-setting 60-kilowatt laser to the U.S. Army. And on and on. And here are some of the things it can do. It can do system control, beam control. What are you seeing here? What are you seeing everywhere? You see what I'm saying? Look familiar? Just a complete coincidence. There's the pyramid, there's the eye. Look familiar? Look familiar? They're not shy. They don't care. They don't hide because they've got enough people that don't understand what it is. This is mainstream news showing this. It's all just a conspiracy theorist. We're just making this up. It's just the new normal. It's happening everywhere. People are getting videos of blue beams from the skies and things are catching on fire, exploding and blowing up. Nothing to see here. It's all a conspiracy. At any rate, and then you combine that with the most unheard of document because people don't seem to know about this. I talked to some people that consider themselves highly informed as far as the mainstream, and they don't know about this 94-page document put out by the Presidential National Council and the Department of Homeland Defense this December. This December, warning of a massive power grid failure. Goes on and on. Ability to respond from a catastrophic power outage. Catastrophic power outage. I mean, terrorist, right? The video I just showed you was from yesterday, in December. This document from the Presidential's National Infrastructure Advisory Council warning everyone to prepare for 6 months with no power, with the friendly little pentagram because they love their symbolism, is right here. How many people do you know that are even aware of this document? Well, I'm going to leave the link in the description, and you can print up all 94 pages and show it to them, where the government, our government, is telling us in a document that most people don't know about to prepare for 6 months without an infrastructure of power. And then suddenly, every place you turn around, power grids exploding, and they blame it on a public utility that can't go out of business. You think that's a coincidence? I don't. I'd be prepared, but that's just me.
Different thing. I'm a dude with a laptop, sometimes a dude with a cell phone. I happen to notice things, and for whatever reason, I find myself, how about this? Last night, all over the news, and today, all over the mainstream news, New York's skies, blue, aliens, Russia attacks, aliens. Yesterday, I had to set up my cameras. I couldn't not do it. I had to set them up. I had 2 cameras rolling yesterday on the skies. So all day I'm videotaping the skies. That night, an event happens in the sky. Why? Because I think God uses people. Listen, I swear like it's my job in regular life because that's what I've been my entire life. I try to refrain when I'm making videos. Sometimes they say a bad word. If you, as an adult who is technically seeking truth, can't handle that, then move along. Don't send me stupid emails. I don't care. Or don't. But something's without a doubt going on. There's no 2 ways about it. There's a reason that Harvard's released in every magazine that would write about it that they're going to start experimenting in 2019, blocking out the sun. Even though NASA's releasing the exact opposite information, saying the Earth is cooling. The Earth is cooling, we're blocking the sun. They're not blocking the sun, they're not hiding Nibiru, they aren't hiding wormwood. There's nothing up there.
Hey folks, and welcome to another video from A Plain Truth. Hey, before we get into the sun simulators with Jeff P. and some of his excellent work, just wanted to give you a heads up. This work is not easy, folks. You're a lone wolf learning this information, discovering hidden truths, occulted truths, technology taking over mankind, sun simulators in our skies. We have to ground ourselves and understand our life purpose. Hopefully this quote can help you. This is what I live for, is to assist and be of service to others. All right, sun simulators. Why do they have two suns in the sky? Why are we seeing a white sun, not a yellow sun? Why does the sun feel more intense? Why does the sun feel abnormal? Because it's fakery, folks. JPL Laboratories and the rest of them have had the technology for a very long time, since at least the 1960s. And here they are promoting their sun clouds, their fake suns and whatnot. Big shout out to Jeff P. at Narraboo Watcher. This is a lot of his work he's put into this stuff. Please watch his work and subscribe to him. He does really good stuff here. All right, let's get into the sun simulators, our fake sun. And here is a picture of a sun simulator, possibly a prototype, with an actual photo of the sun simulator or something similar that has been captured in the sky.
These ones here, I don't think are creating the electromagnetic disturbance. They could be a still different craft. The ones that we saw, I just don't think they'd have that many crafts sitting there. We didn't see no weather modification or anything. So I still think those are made by JPL, and they maybe they do have levitation technology to hold them there in space. Here we could see the characteristics of the sun simulator, and I want you to notice right here, when every time these sparks come out, that this lens thing focuses, this huge lens that I've been saying all along in my videos. There's a large lens not attached to the simulator, but notice how it is moving and fluctuating and reacting with the pulses of light, acting to, I believe, to be focusing the laser beam, making it more intense. DEW, directed energy weapon. So see, when it pulses the light, it reflects off of it. Wow. Watch it one more time. So that is supposed to be the sun. Now, there was a lot of skepticism on these pictures, but these were submitted to me by a subscriber, showing these spinning cube on their house and on their barns. All these different pictures showing this cube object. It's a spinning cube, but it's showing its curved edges because it goes through a lens. And I wish we could catch these on videos. Just take the time. It must have been slowly spinning, but it would have rotated. Here we could see the light going all the way across on a mirror. About a week ago, showing me this. Behold. Now we can begin to see the same object, the sun simulator. See the same light pattern coming off this thing. All that light projects onto a spinning cube. I will show you that in a patent. But let's just look at some of these photos. Look at this barn picture showing up again. Because of the lenses and because of the solar eclipse, we even had multiple pictures of multiple eclipses on the ground. How many eclipses should we show during a solar eclipse? We should be seeing one. And yet, look at that. That is crazy. So on this video, during eclipse, many people saw hundreds of little mini eclipses. Why do you think that was? See all the eclipses on the ground? This appeared all over the place, showing all these eclipses. Why? Because it's going through all those lenses that I showed you in this patent. These lenses right and here. When the sun eclipsed through all those lenses, now we get this. Many eclipses on the ground. This, I've got a compilation of spinning cubes and the black dot. This is from the Zion Warrior from Florida. Watch him zoom in on this spinning cube. According to the NASA patent, which I will go back to, is 20 foot by 20 foot cube. So all that light from the xenon lamps through those lenses are shining onto a spinning cube. Let's go forward. Let's him zoom in on this one. I go this in greater detail in my other videos. This video is primarily for evidence, without going back and showing this stuff over and over again. So just wanted to show you the new evidence. The new evidence here is over Australia. We could see the spinning cube. Very clear. Must be 6 of them because the 6 edge. Again, another one of Australia. Many of these are done with cell phones. And so many will say that it's the shutter or a cheap camera. But if that black dot is an overload sensor because it's a cheap camera, then you ought to see that black every time you look at a bright sun. Not just when it's convenient for the shieldards to tell you that. So it's either always there or it's never there. Evidence that was submitted to me. Can you hear the distortion on the camera? The auto adjusting is affecting it. Now, I'd said once that this was the lens array in deep space, but I think there's something even more amazing to this, because nothing would have bent light in space. It's just bizarre, right? Oh, but I'm going to tie this all together. Here's some more proof, more lens distortions. Look at how it waves. Let me pause this for a second. I also want to notice a little clue here. Look at this cloud formation, by the way, how it's big circular cloud. Okay, you're gonna like this one. So, and this just, you can hear the distortion here. That people are noticing these strange clouds, sometimes in a clear blue sky, and then we get this lens distortion. Look at this light being bent. Oh, I think there's more to it than that, but that's where it's going to get good, so hang in there. Here's the final proof. Another, look at this camera. Just absolutely freaks out. Again, you get that same buzzing noise. In case you didn't see it, I'm trying to say, do you see the cloaked ship? Now, of course you don't see it because it's cloaked, but what you will see is an outline of it. I'm going to try and make it real obvious for you. So I'm just going to draw a little line around this. Pause the video. It's a pretty straight line. These clouds appeared over my house. Do you see this circular object right here? These are the cloud machines. And another triangular craft right here. And another one here. They're the ones that made these clouds. And it was a clear blue sky. This little pot mark signature, that's it, folks. There you go. Can you get any more of a straight line than that? Look at this. I hope you guys can see these lines here. That is not formed naturally in nature. How come cloud? Okay. I got to show you a picture of what most people are aware of. The TR3B craft. And this is where the toroidal field sits, right here. I already made a video on how this is made. This is the toroidal field, and emanating from this, you're going to get this massive toroidal field that one side is going to suck in and compress and make clouds, while the other one expands it back out. And this would basically extend this huge toroidal field all the way down to the ground. We don't want to bore you with another stupid UFO video. But how about this one? Another giant spaceship tutorial field. This one we got the sounds. Many people over. You see how the vortex is sucking in the clouds here in this toroidal field? These things are huge. This is what they call anti-gravity. I don't believe in gravity. Sometimes I have a hard time using a word. Levitation. Levitation.
Seen hovering high over Moscow Wednesday evening, scientists have rejected claims of UFO activity, saying the white cloud was no more than an optical illusion.
Optical illusion.
Moscow, people described
Yeah, okay. Yeah, many of you have seen this one. When I bored the tutorial fields here, but look at the high energy it things create in the process. The lens array, double halos, all that because of this stuff. Look at the diameter of that thing. That would just not be if the sun was big and far away, like we're led to believe. The real sun's still there. Anyways, I hope you like this video. Please copy, like, and share, and have a blessed
Okay, just want to look at a couple more here, just to get a little more detail. But look at this, and look at, that's what I want to look at, some of the ridiculous excuses. Like lens flare, that's what they're saying this is. You shitting me? This is over Merrimack, New Hampshire, and look at this thing. Look where it is. It's like, really, here's the sun. Someone's taking a picture of it, and they're trying to say that this thing here is a lens flare. Bullshit. And look at this bullshit. Here's part how they try and justify it by saying, oh, geez, even NASA camera picked it up, and it sure looks like lens flare on our camera, but how full of shit can you be? I mean, and how fired should this asshole be? Who the fuck's gonna put the camera behind all this shit? I think, aren't you gonna mount a camera up there somewhere, not behind all this shit? There's nothing up there. But anyways, that's not the point we're making right now. The point is, here we are again. Here's the sun over here. You can tell the guy was probably almost shaded in here behind these trees, and yet he's getting lens flare all the way over here that looks like not one but two of those damn things now. I mean, really, this is not lens flare, people. This is a lie. That's what it is. Alright, here we are at the patent for the sun simulator. And you can, I use Google Patents just because it does worldwide. You can go, it's a U.S. patent. You can go look it up at the U.S. Patent Office if that makes some difference to you for some reason. But there's, I got lost. Oh yeah, you will find other sun simulator patents that when you read the descriptions and shit, they're obviously fairly mundane. But this one is fairly not. Really clearly, right off the hop, it's, you only got to get into what, the third paragraph here. Well, just catch on the highlights here. You guys can come read more yourself if you want to know it. But the one thing for sure we want to take away from this thing, their patent is for a device that will imitate the sun. Act as an artificial sun. Their reasoning for this is to test space vehicles, and we know that's bullshit because there are no friggin' space vehicles unless they're calling the drones and the things like we showed you there in the earlier part of this video that they're using, the spaceshipy type shit. Then yeah, it would make perfect sense. They probably are using it to adapt solar panels and stuff to power that kind of shit, but who knows? We know it ain't for space vehicles because there aren't any. But here, the last line too is something you really want to take note of. that it's basically a modular system, so you can add as many units to it as you want or take away from, and they can add as many to it as they need to, so that the total array of these modular units has the approximate intensity of the sun. But as if that isn't bad enough. And you got to remember, this is 1960 this patent was filed. So they're able to imitate the intensity of the sun then. But that's not good enough for them. This thing needs to imitate the same sunlight as before it has been filtered through any appreciable amount of atmospheric air. Yeah, there you go. So the thing is, it's got some fucking balls already in 1960. And that's what, 60 years ago or damn near. So you think there hasn't been any advances in the technology behind this thing? I'm pretty much assure you this thing, as well as imitating the sun, it's a big ass laser gun, like real big ass. This one thing here, I don't know what it means. Maybe someone else can tell me, but because I've looked at a lot of patents, and it's not like it doesn't happen, but it is kind of odd that it was applied for in 1960, and the thing didn't actually get granted till 66. And it was during that time frame, when was it, 64, when they shot Kennedy in the head? And he was trying to say, hey, the fucking underworld's grabbing control of our government and shit. Even though, believe it or not, he was a shill too. He was, but that's getting too deep for most people probably. But anyways, it'll fit your reality that between 1960 and 64, they whacked Kennedy. 66, now it finally fucking gets approved. I'm kind of highly suspecting there were still some sane people that could think like human beings that were probably highly opposed to this shit. Because, I mean, that's really dry stuff if you want to come in here and read all the details and stuff, but they are all here. Including remember the spinning cube, the 20, they described their 20 by 20 by 20 foot cube that has to, because they can't with bulbs alone imitate the sun, they need this mirror cube spinning to bounce their shit off. But anyways, that's just a theory. Wouldn't mind hearing what anyone else has to think. And what was the other oddities we ran into here? Oh yeah, the inventor, this guy here, we went and looked him up, but the original assignee, Perkin Enner Corp, went to look them up, and they don't exist. I think Perkin Enner, and typos on patents and this official document are so rare, like pretty rare. I mean, they happen, but I'd be more inclined to believe it's, especially before the internet, it would have made it tougher than hell to try to track down who this really was. But anyways, who it really was Perkin Elmer, not Emner or whatever the hell. So here we are. This is, I could have chose so many different people, but Bloomberg, you get a lot of financial and stock market, lots of other things that tell you information here too. But not that they're not Bloomberg, they're not good news. They're Zionist-owned, one-sided, agenda-driven folks. But anywho, here we are, Perkin Elmer. They're filing patents for sun simulators, but yet they're into all kinds of other wonky shit, and I won't take the time to read it all here, but it seems the one thing that stood out to me was the fact that as well as imitating the sun, it kind of does make sense that they're into environmental type shit and have technologies for evaluating things in the air and the water and the soil. Well, of course you are, so you can see how well you're killing things off or not. And just a side note, like me and the missus here, we used to plant gardens and plant flowers and all kinds of shit. And I don't know how many of you people even try anymore, but anyone who's tried, you can't tell me you haven't noticed you cannot grow shit the way you used to. Like, you might get a half-assed garden off, but not really. It doesn't grow right. Flowers, you buy high sunlight flowers, and they will not survive if you put them out where they're in direct sunlight all day long. Like, it's all so messed up. Got to the point we just don't even do that shit anymore. It's heartbreaking to treat them as well as you can, and then you get killed, or you kill them anyways. But anywho, yeah, these clowns are into everything, messing with food and water and soil and electronics and energy, lubricants, petrochemical. Then they get into like deeper shit too, like polymers and laboratory services for shit like reagents, informatics. Yeah, like these people are DNA sequencing. I mean, really? And sun simulating. It's pretty wild. So I know there was more here I noticed, but oh yeah, that was it. That's a snapshot of the company itself. Give a little click on the people in there. And really the main reason I came over here is because the way it works, if you know your Illuminati and Freemasons and stuff at all, you check one of the first things you do when you find a company that you know is rotten through and through, you start checking out all these names in these top positions here, and 80% of them, usually, like, it's smoking high percentage of the time, you can trace it back to one of the Illuminati family bloodlines. It ain't me and you that's ever going to have any of these well-paid positions. The odd fluke here and there, I guess, but not too many of us. Most of them are designated. Same with your prime ministers and your presidents and shit. But the one thing that did catch me in here was, look at the salaries. Look at the Perkin-Elmer salaries, where it falls in the average range here. And look at, or in I'm guessing this gray bar would have to be lowest to very highest. And look where they're like way up there versus this one here is the industry average. So like they're way, way, way above average. Oh, more than double the salary on average. That's on average to the average. So really? Probably wouldn't be any shut-up money involved in that paycheck, would there? Now here's the inventor. He was just doing his duty, mopping, swabbing the decks on the boat of some kind of frigate or something during World War II or something, and he put together the first lens array that they were interested in. So this is in Argentina, down here, Argentina Naval Academy. So yeah, so they whisk him off to conveniently get him over to the UK during World War II. He was holed up in one of their imperial colleges over there. And then he pops back over to the US and hooks up with Perkins and Company here and files his patent and on his fake son, and off he goes. He seems to have had a pretty, well, he actually retired pretty early, and then he basically did a lot of consulting work for all the big players, all the ones that are still in the game as far as we can tell today, like Germany, France, Italy, China, Swiss, Bavaria, of course, Cologne there, yeah. London, obviously, they're balls deep in anything bad that bitch in the palace has got a big hand in it. Okay, so now if you go and look at this, the pattern here, you get into the dynamics of it here. I'll make it really simple. For the biggest issue with lasers is focus and clean, and they need a lot of light, and they need it all focused perfect. They need all perfect parallel light, and that's what the whole focus of their sun simulator design is and shit. And you need the same, yeah, for laser, or even the microwave weapons. It's all the same principle, just different shit you can see at different colors, or you can't. Basically, it's all based on light lengths and frequencies and shit like that. But anywho, like I was saying, I pretty much guarantee you that Sun Simulator is a great big ass laser, and I don't know if any are skeptical as to whether they've really got real lasers that work and shit or not. So just in case, we'll buzz you through this real quick here, so you can see them testing the shit out and see that actually is kind of dangerous. And this is, they took the lens away, but did you see it was probably what, 4, maybe 6 inches across that lens or something? Maybe I'm underestimating. That's a big boat, and it's a 2-foot wide lens that just blew the wing off that, whatever it is. Looks like an old Stealth or something. That's an expensive test, eh? Those things were like 6 billion or 60 billion or something each. Crazy amount. But now I'm lost. Oh yeah, but can you imagine if the only way that sun simulator could be working is they've got to be moving the damn thing around in front of the real sun, if there's even a real sun up there. For myself, personally, jury's still out on that one. I don't know if we really do have one. But say we do. You're going to have that thing big enough to keep moving it along in front of the thing to hide it. So that's one big ass lens. That's going to cause a lot of damage, man, if they turn that thing into a big old laser beam. No? Something to consider, anyways. But yeah, and they got little portable jobbies here, like this thing on the Jeep. This thing will devastate shit like you wouldn't believe. You can look that stuff up too. And the only reason I threw this in here is because we were watching, oh god, how many thousands or tens of thousands of Sequel-2.3s come and go for sure, in and out of a few areas around the city that were just makeshift temporary lots, no names on these companies or anything, and all kinds of wacky looking Sequel-2.3s. And they show you this one where a lot of it's outside shit, but I could almost guarantee you they've got them so this shit ain't all exposed. It just looks like a Sequel unless you look at it real close. And the freakiest ones, well, the ones that bothered me the most were the 60-foot Sequels that they upped the weight on the things by more than 50%, and they extended them like 12. Couldn't get close enough to one to measure it, but it was for sure 12 to 14 feet. They extended that Sequel, and I'm guessing those are pop-up missile launchers, like the good old conventional boom, blow you up and burn you and shit type ones, not lasers. But because the Russians, you can find them too. You get looking, they're out there. But it kind of makes sense because you're not gonna add extensions onto these Sequels. Everything's built for 40 or 60 foot Sequels. You don't extend one. You just go get another Sequel, unless you've got something in that Sequel that needs more room, like that. Oh, I forget the name of the damn thing. It's a Russian one though, but that's exactly what it is. It's built to look like a Sequel. They're not. They've got different locks though, and way better locks, and alarms too. They tell you to stay away. It's alarmed. Okay, so I think that was it for in here. Showed you that. Now, I wasn't going to do another one, but I am. This video's getting too long, so I want to kind of delve into a little bit more what they could be using these things for and see if there's any evidence out there that maybe they have been using them already, and if so, maybe see if we can trace her back a bit and see how far back they've been using them on us. 'Cause I don't know, a lot of these sketchy ass fires that just seem to love grabbing all the buildings and anything near to people, and they skip right over all these twiggy trees and shit. There's just too much of that shit going on around here lately. So yeah, this is gonna have to get carried on in another one, folks. I am so sorry, don't want to drag this shit on forever, but I gotta get this through to you, because your very lives are really in the balance here, people. I know it sounds extreme and whatever, but it's not fear porn, folks. It's reality. So, to be continued.